Have you ever done something stupid in your life?
Always.
Always. When you're doing something and you're trying to think that this doesn't make sense, but you do it anyways. Have you ever done that? Yeah. I do it every day. Mr. Tom, fellow Toastmasters, long, long ago, in the year 1975, lived a man by the name Nitesh. Nitesh is very tall, he's very lean, and very delusional. One day, Nitesh was in the farm cutting the grass and cutting the bunk of the tree, where he hears the grass starts moving. From the grass appeared one young, beautiful lady carrying a big fat jar. Nitesh, looking at him with twinkling eyes, she's so beautiful. He went up to her, telling her that, excuse me, madam, is your father a property agent? She was like, no, why? You seem to have rented a space in my heart. Long story short, long flirting story short, they started talking, they started chit-chatting, and they started chilling by the riverside. Because there was no beach yet by the time. So they chilled by the riverside. And it comes to the time when Nitesh thinks, this might be the right time to propose her. So one day Nitesh gathered a lot of people by the riverside, collected huge flowers, went on his knees and said, will you be my girlfriend? Ladies and gentlemen, I love you too was the response. She never given. After a while, she said something that puzzled him. She said, I might leave you, but I will never leave this big fat jar. Nitesh got confused. He was thinking inside himself, what is so special about that jar that she could not leave it? Nitesh asked her, what is so special about that jar? She said, my mom carried this jar everywhere she goes, so I followed her. Nitesh was like, you know what, it's just a jar, it has nothing to do with it, right? It's no big deal. So one day, the girl invited Nitesh to come over to the house for dinner to meet the parents. You know, usually when they call out to meet the parents, what happens? Usually the next month they get married. So Nitesh, with his Armani-style sarong and his Chanel-style blanc on, because there was no suit as yet at the time, he went to the house with such lean, bold look. He got the shock of his life when he saw 17 men in the house all carrying the same jar. Can you believe it? Men carrying a jar, that too that big? Nitesh was confused. He was like, what on earth is wrong with this family? Everyone in the house was carrying the same jar. So Nitesh went to meet the mother who taught the girl about carrying the jar. He went to the mother and asked her, excuse me ma'am, I wanted to ask you some questions about the jar. I'm a little confused. Why is it that every man in the house also have to carry the jar? The mother replied, because my mother did it, so I followed. That girl said, my mother did it and I followed. This mother said, she followed her mother, and I think the generation will keep going like that. So Nitesh was thinking, if everyone in the house has to carry the jar, later on when I married, Nitesh was thinking, carrying such a big fat jar with me as a macho man, where will my manhood gone? So to clear the doubt, once and for all, Nitesh met the mother of the mother to clear the doubts. He went with a bold look. And have you ever seen in movies, have you ever seen in movies that grandmothers are most of the time very annoying?
Yeah.
And very rude?
Yeah.
Likes to scream?
Yeah.
This one is even worse. She can't hear properly, she can't see properly. So when Nitesh came to the house, being all good, all respectful and all that, because he's gonna be the future family member, that was the oldest one, the most annoying one. He went and said, good afternoon, old man. How are you? The grandmother looked at him and said, who are you? I don't need the vegetables today. No. I think you must have been mistaken. Yeah. I am your granddaughter's fiance. She said, Beyonce? Who is that? Alright, it seems like let's just get to the point. You hate me, I hate you. Let's just talk about what we need to talk. Nitesh asked her, your granddaughter carried that big fat jar with her. Your daughter carried that big fat jar with her. Even the man in the house carried the big fat jar with her. What is up with that jar? Does it like cast away the evil eyes or something? She was like, what evil eyes? That time I was thirsty. That's why I brought it everywhere. So why is your daughters doing it? They saw me doing it, that's why they do it. Crazy family. Can't you like bring a bottle or something? Yeah, I used to live in the desert. How many bottles should I bring? Ladies and gentlemen, realize it or not, every one of us carries that big fat jar with us in the form of our beliefs. A belief is something that we inherit from our parents, from our friends, from our societies, that eventually determines how we think, how we feel, and how we act. I hear people say, I am not good enough because my parents said so. I'm not smart enough because my teacher said so. I can't marry him or her because my astrologer said so. It doesn't make sense. Have we ever questioned our beliefs? Have we ever questioned how we acquire that belief? Who do we hear it from? Are they empowering us or are they limiting us? The answer is on you.